Alright, we're live. Hello everybody in the future who joins and sees this as a VOD. Just gotta make sure I've got the chat visible. One sec. It's gonna be a pretty chill coding session today. I've been kind of out of it for a little while. Just been busy with stuff and also had some unfortunate home stuff, like the basement flooded a little bit, so this is a chill vibes de-stress coding session. So what do we got going on here? We've got VSCode with my full library of Pico-8 carts. At this point it's kind of absurd how many I have. You know, like this is just one subfolder of what I've minted to FX hash. It is not organized very nicely, but the big thing is I did update my git ignore recently, so now at least it's easy to manage. While we're here, let's do that. Init SPIRES. Yes, save and commit. So today I have an idea, like visually. I should draw this. Let's see. No paint. So I have an idea visually for what I want to do. It's inspired by something that I just kind of randomly encountered. I should have remembered what it was, but how do you, can you change this here? Okay, pixels, there we go. Let's do 128. 128. That's really small. Now can we zoom? Well, that's annoying. Okay, let's do 1024 by 1024 instead. Okay. Just trying to make sure that's all visible. All right. So the basic idea is as follows. First of all, we're going to have a background color. I don't know what it's going to be. And basically I want to have, so I don't normally use paint, so I don't really know what I'm doing here. But basically what I want to have is like lines going down vertically. These are straight lines, by the way. I know it doesn't look like it, but they are. So I want to have these lines going down vertically, and I want to have cubes somehow, like within these, or not cubes, but like planes. Like there needs to be perspective somehow, so that like I can have these sort of planes that are slicing at different angles and different colors, and they're going to be sort of cutting through all these lines like this. I guess since they're different colors, I can use the fill tool here. That's not what I want, but you get the idea. And also, they're going to move up or down, or maybe both. And as they move, there's going to be dithering, which is going to sort of create a trail behind, like in the direction, the opposite direction, like literally a trail behind the moving ones. And I guess we're just gonna go see where that goes. I want to keep it simple. I have other ideas, like I want to make an ant simulator. But it just seems like a lot of work, so I keep being unable to motivate myself to do it. So I thought I would start with something a lot simpler and try to keep it simple as I go. Like, actually, I was kind of thinking that this could be a toot cart, but we'll see. I'm not going to specifically try for that. It's more like if I like where it's at and it's less than 500 characters, then, or it's close to 500 characters, then I'll make it a toot cart. But yeah, we got this is the basic premise. It is missing something, which I think is going to be entropy locking, and maybe we'll see what we get if we do some symmetry, or maybe fake symmetry. Anyway, let's keep that as our reference image for now. And let's just get started messing around with this. Oh yeah, actually I should pull this up. I also want these lines to kind of drift really slowly to the right and the left. Oh, now that I'm thinking about that, but how am I gonna get the shapes to stay connected? Okay, so let's think about the code here. We can't just do these as a line. Like, if I naively say, like, here's a point and here's a point, draw a line between them, then that does have the advantage of, like, I could move this point this way or this way. You know what? I could do that. Because if I move this point this way and I move this point, say, this way, then at any given height, like, say if this is the height, I could compute the location of this line, which I'm going to need because these shapes are going to have to be flush with the line. And these shapes are themselves just going to be lines or maybe rectangles. I like the idea of doing lines, and maybe the color comes from the fact that they're moving. We'll see how it looks. Step one, what's step one? Step one is get some vertical lines with a defined start and end point. Okay. So what are we gonna need? Line tops equals this. I am using CoPilot, by the way. Line bots equals this. That'll be the bottoms. There's always the temptation to do this in an object-oriented fashion because I recently became better at that. But that's really a Python thing in my head. And again, this is supposed to be a toot cart, so it should be really simple. Okay, let's think about this. First, we want to init. Wow, this is. I mean, this is just going to give us. This is just going to give us 128 lines that all start at 0 and end at 127, which is basically useless. We know that the line Y positions are always going to start at 0 and end at 127, so this isn't what we need. Let's actually give more context to CoPilot. Stores the X position of the top of the line, stores the X position of the bottom of the line. And let's say, oh, and you know what? I need some convenience functions. Sugar. R equals R&D. S equals R minus 1. Overflow bug to get random number. srand s. So this is going to fix the entropy once, but it's not going to lock the entropy. X position, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So now we have this. We can get some random positions. Do we want random positions? Like what I liked about this idea was that it's a very regular grid. So let's say divide this into sections like so. And let's say line tops I equals, oh no, wait, we don't want to do line tops I. No, j equals 1, because this is a 1 indexed situation. You know what, we'll just use add, that's easier. Add line tops I plus R2. This is only going to add 2. So let's do 4 minus 2. Okay, and now we got to draw these suckers. Even the AI knows. 4. Yeah, okay. I don't think this makes any sense. The AI, as usual, struggles with Pico-8 code. Like, it actually legitimately has no idea how to do any Pico-8 development whatsoever. So, in a larger code base, like in this is my looping GIF engine code base. Like, here's all the palettes. You know, I've got a config, like a global config and all this fancy stuff. This took me like a couple months to write. When I'm working in this, CoPilot actually just works really well because it can read the rest of the code that I wrote, and it knows like the syntax, it knows what I'm doing. Here, since we're just starting, it starts out thinking that this is probably like not what it actually is, and it takes a while to understand the peculiarities of the Pico-8 syntax. For example, it doesn't recognize this as a loop. Okay, so I have lines. I want to say 4. You know what? I gotta look this up. Pico-8 tables. I'm always forgetting this. What I want, I think, here is pairs, perhaps. All which iterates over the elements in the sequence in a table. Add down, okay, all. Give it a table. Returns an iterator. Okay. 4. Okay, first of all, I need a counter. Equals 1. 4 top in all line tops line. Oh my god, I wish CoPilot would stop trying to guess what I want to do here. You know what, I'll write a comment. Draw a line from line tops I to line bots I. Y should go from 0 to 127. Yes, that is true. CoPilot is not happy with my single space tab formatting, which, believe it or not, is actually what they want on Pico-8. So it's time to see what we got. That's really good, except the little line on the left is a little weird. I know why it's doing that, but it does look better when it doesn't do that. So let's change this. I'm giving up on this being a toot cart, by the way. I've decided. So let's say if I equals 0. Wait. If I equals 0 or I equals, oh my god, 127, I guess, then do something else. Hit another end here, and then here we're gonna say this. Oh, you know what? I'm actually realizing we need an if else. So if I equals 0, then only go to the right. Oh no. Now I'm forgetting if it's if else. One second. Conditional statements. It's else if, all one word. And in this case we're going to do -2. Does that make sense? Oh my god, this breaks my brain. Okay, if it's random value 2 -2, the highest possible is 0. Okay, we're fine. Alright, now we've got some excellent looking lines. I did really like that glitch effect that happened there. I'm not even sure if I have to get fancy enough to compute this. Also, is this too many? Like, okay, let's just fuck around here. What happens if I do this? Now that's interesting. It added more lines because right, okay. Because I told it to do more. That makes sense. It's pretty neat. Let's see, 12 perhaps might be the magic number. I'm just resetting, by the way. It's changing because I'm resetting here. Okay. Now the other thing I wanted was some sort of wiggle on the lines, right? So I should do it while I'm in this loop. I'm already envisioning an issue here, which is if we, let's go to the painting. If we are wiggling this by saying randomly subtract or add to it, and if we keep getting the same value over and over, like +2 each time, then it's going to keep pushing to the right, which is going to screw everything up. It's going to ruin the whole aesthetic. So I'm realizing I need something else. Line top limbs, which is going to store the max and min positions of the top of the line. Line bot limbs. Okay. Okay, and then we're gonna go I honestly, this is so inefficient. I feel guilty. We're gonna do another for loop in the setup. Populate line top limbs and line bot limbs. How did it know exactly what I wanted? That's really impressive. For top in all line tops, add this. Okay. So the min is first, the max is second. We're adding, and this is a wiggle of 2 pixels. We'll just repeat the dang loop for the bottom. Okay. Okay, so this is an interesting thing that happens with CoPilot sometimes. Maybe I should change the title of the stream to say coding with CoPilot or something, you know. The only catch is I don't actually know how to do that while the stream is already running, so I guess I'm just not gonna bother. So you saw there, like, it's actually suggesting a comment, which is, but we want to make sure that the line doesn't go off the screen. This is the interesting thing about co-developing with CoPilot, because it sometimes just randomly suggests these things, like, we want to make sure that the line doesn't go off the screen. And it's like, that's really true. That is such a good point, and I do need to do that. So we're going to accept that comment. We're also going to say, also the lines should remain within the limbs defined above. Okay, and now it's in a comment. CoPilot is in a comment loop, so if we let it, it will just keep putting comments forever. So we actually have to start writing some code. What we are doing right now, we have an I position, so we want to go, first we want to get a random factor. So let's say top fac equals R4 minus 2. This is going to give us a random pixel wiggle between -2 and +2. And we'll do the same for the bottom fac. What's going on here? Like, indent uses spaces, tab size 1. Okay. CoPilot, stop suggesting Pythonic indentation. Okay. Yeah, let's do that. I agree with what it says. Check if the line is within limits. Okay, I'm going to accept this just so I can see it. If line top I plus top fac is greater than or equal to line top limbs I1, that's the min. So if it's greater than the min and it's less than the max, then do this. Okay. But what I actually want to do is I want it always to wiggle. I don't want it to just move to the right and then get stuck. So what I want to say instead is like, while not this, top frac is this. Okay. So now it's going to recalculate this value until it gets one that is allowed. And then it's going to add it. Now we're going to do the same for the bottom. And we're gonna say only do this on certain frames. Okay, which means we need a frame counter. You know what, we'll just call it FC. Frame count equals 0. Do we want to flip? Oh, should I be good? I'll flip. Flip. So flip, as you can see, copies the graphics buffer to the screen, and then it will wait for the appropriate time to call the next loop, essentially. Is my understanding. So it will ensure that the frame rate actually relates to it will ensure that the frame rate actually relates to the animation, I guess. Expected do near then. Oh god, the while loop is broken. Yeah, okay. While not right. See, it does know Pico-8 syntax. On the second one, it actually corrected the mistake. You know what? Let's close this. How do you close this? There we go. Let's close this. Oh geez. Line 61. While not line blah blah blah. Attempt to perform arithmetic on field unknown, a nil value. So something I'm doing is incorrect here. Line tops I. Oh, am I making a mistake by using I? No, because this is still the same massive loop. While not line tops I plus top fac greater than line top limbs I 1. I mean, is this not correct? I'm losing my mind. Okay, it's drawing and then crashing. Let's get rid of this comment for now. Print. Actually, let's use the shorthand. Top fac 120. No wait, 0 127. Why you gotta do me dirty like this? Okay, it is printing a real value here, like we're seeing an actual number. But why does it look like that? I think I can do like not a backslash, maybe this. No, that's a disaster. You know what? I'm not even gonna bother looking it up. I'm just gonna clear the screen. Okay, 0.95, blah blah blah. Okay, so this all checks out. This value exists. Let's try seeing what this looks like. Nil. Okay, interesting. Why is that nil? The I starts at 1. We're saying for top in all line tops, and that works. Like, why does it work here? Well, let's see if it works here. That still says nil. Interesting. Okay, so position 2 has a real value. Position 1 has a real value. But what the hell? It shouldn't be negative. It should not be negative. Okay. Line tops. So that's nil. But why is that happening? Like, I'm literally declaring I here. Just testing, just testing. I'm always suspicious of my scope. Let's check this in, by the way, just as a checkpoint. Working yet, but getting there. Okay. Well, not blah, blah, blah. For top in all line tops, but then I don't use top again. I just don't know why. Add line tops. If I equals here we go. If oh no. If I equals 0, so this is for the first one, then add it. The thing is, like, okay, wait a minute. Here's an idea. To 12. What? That doesn't make any sense. How the hell is it 12? If this actually makes no sense. I equals 1. Then we do this. So I should equal 1. That didn't change anything. Suddenly it changed something. Negative 28 does not work. 0 obviously crashes. If I set it to 1, how come it says 12? If you're noticing the camera shaking, by the way, that's because my cat is doing acrobatics on my desk. 12. Is it really printing 12 though? I mean, it's only, we can see here, it's only drawing one line. I don't know if you can actually see my cursor. Oh yeah, it's kind of, it shows up as black on the stream. That's weird. Sorry, I know it's boring to just watch someone think, but my wheels are spinning. I equals 1. Is it because we already initialized I as a global variable? It just seems so improbable. No, but we don't have to break the loop because we're doing this. So we always know that it's going to be the right number of loops. And the weird thing is, if I say 2, it does the same. If I say 3, it does the same. If I say 4, it does the same. If I say 11, it does the same. If I say 12, it does the same. If I say 13, it does 13. So something is happening. Are there the same number of line tops and line bottoms? Okay, let's check. Now we're getting somewhere. So this is the symbol for length. We're gonna say, what is the length of line tops? 11. Now we're getting somewhere. What is the length of line bots? 11. What is the length of line bot limbs? 11. Okay. So I understand what's happening. I don't understand why it's happening. We're crashing when we get to I equals 12. Because we try to do this or anything. Actually, it's happening in this while loop. Because I guess this just returns nil. Right, okay. For top in all line tops. You know what? Then let's do it this way. For I in no. For I equals 1. Length line tops do. Now that's a wiggle. Oh my god, I understand why it was showing the last one. Because I'm clearing the screen every time I go through this loop, not just like once right before the print statement. So it's always showing me the last print statement. Anyway, I'm done with that debugging. This should work now. Alright. And you can see, because I'm not clearing the screen, you can see this is showing us exactly how thick or not thick these lines are allowed to get. Okay, it's a lot of code for something stupid. You can also get rid of that initialization. Now, we also need to dither. Dithering. Let's start with a simple random dither. For I equals 0, 1000, do, what the, do, we'll just set it to 0. Pretty good. We are getting somewhere. We should save this. Bug fixed and dither. Okay. Now we need to make this part only happen. Only wiggle once every X frames. Let's just make this a question mark. Now we're gonna say, oh, actually it was already suggesting it. So it wants to suggest 10 frames, and then it wants to just end the draw loop early. That's the most insane decision I've ever seen CoPilot make. No bad robots. What do you have to say about that? It's insisting. Anyway, we don't need the robot for this. If FC0 equals 0, then end. No, wait a minute. Nice. Let's make this 120. That should be every 2 seconds. All right. So I was already thinking this might be an issue. The issue is they all move at the same time. Uh-oh. Some of the lines are going off the screen. I forgot about that restriction. Oh my god. Okay, while line top limbs, blah blah blah. Okay, this is the... Oh my god. Okay. We just need to copy the whole thing again. This is the ugliest code I've ever written. Can I really do this with a clean conscience? If I go like this, does it still run? Yes. Right, because of the parentheses. Okay, while not line top, blah, blah, blah. Actually, I prefer it when the things are at the end. And, nope. Line tops I plus top fact greater than or equal to 0. You got it. See, the AI does know what I want. Let's get this, like this, like this, like this. Oops. And okay, so now it won't go over the edge. You know, part of the problem with the random dithering is it's going to make the entropy locking weird. I also don't like the way the dithering happens after the lines are drawn, so I'm actually going to do the dithering first. You know, at first I kind of thought like all these lines need to be wiggling at their own pace, but I kind of like the way it just happens every 2 seconds. If I was really weird, I would make it happen like every 3.14 seconds or something. This is not, you know, this is not really amazing yet. But remember, this is our vision. This is what we have so far. We're definitely getting there. Okay. Dithering improved line sanity. Whoops. I'm like when I'm working on a private project where no one can see my commits and no one gets emails whenever I commit. I'm like an aggressive committer. Like I like to have a record of like everything. Unless I forget. Then I always regret it though. Okay. So we've got all this stuff going for us. We've already got like a decent looking piece of code just to make these lines wiggle around. The next step is a function that given the line top, the line bottom, and a height, it will return the x coordinates of the line at that height. I think this is going to look really good once we have the once we have these things in here, I think this is going to look really good. Because the dither pattern from these is going to be like a constant trail that's just kind of going behind them. And the dither pattern from the lines is going to be like a pulsing thing that happens like boom, boom, boom at a set time. But what's next? I think this is a good stopping point for the day. I just committed everything? No, I did not. Okay. I'm really revealing how terrible my commit messages are. Alright, I guess I'm gonna stop here for the day. I think I'm gonna do this whole piece start to finish live. So I promise not to work on it. I can't promise that, but I'm gonna do as much of it live as I can. I'm gonna be traveling next week, so I won't be streaming. I am gonna bring my pocket chip with me, so I might be tempted to do some coding, even though I said I wouldn't. But if I do, then I will at least explain what I add and what it does in the live stream. But I definitely want to treat this as a series, and we're going to get this piece looking really nice. It's going to be so pretty. You know what, I guess I got to save my MS Paint diagram. I'll do that off stream so nobody needs to see my full file system. Alright, well, thanks to anybody who joined in, and thanks to any people watching this in the distant future or whatever, and thanks to our AI overlords in the year 3000 for reinstantiating me as a simulation. So keep it real. Peace.